Hello, this is Anna Imagination. Welcome to the Healing Garden, Shifting Perspectives, Triadic Healing. This is officially one of my courses, one of my classes. So I want to talk about the Triadic healing mindset. In general, the healing mindset. This is the mindset everyone must get into when they are ready to heal. The first thing is absolutely an open mind. And this is really the difference between somebody who decides to heal and someone who doesn't. I'm going to say it a million times over. I really hate to use the word heal. I hate it so much. It is the most vague, inaccurate word available to us in the wellness, mental wellness area of life. It's just not true. What we are really doing is growing. What we are really doing is breaking things down. That's not healing. We're breaking things down. We are throwing away what doesn't belong to us. We are shrugging off all of the things, all the expectations that were forced into us. And then we are getting ourselves to ground zero, where we are a complete blank, brand new baby. And then we are rebuilding the authentic self from that point. So that's not healing. And I've explained this in a couple other videos, but I will explain it here for this course. This is it. I want you to imagine two people. You have a person who has a broken leg, and you have a person who has to have their leg amputated. A person with a broken leg is going to remain pretty much the same person. You go through the experience, but the leg is still a part of you. The leg has to heal. And then you get back to putting your leg through physical therapy and you can walk and run again. That is healing. The identity, the individual does not change in the process. That is healing. The other thing where you have someone whose leg has to be amputated, now they have to deal with grief, they have to deal with loss, they have to deal with readapting and changing their perspective and their world. They have to become someone new, someone who doesn't have two legs. As a result, this changes who they are. It's going to impact them so drastically that their identity changes. They're not going to be able to run, not without a prosthetic. They're not going to be able to do things that they were used to doing before. That is not healing. That is life transformation. The healing garden, technically, is actually about life transformation. When a person begins their healing journey, they think, I'm just putting a Band-Aid on this wound and I'll be fine in a couple of weeks. No, this is life transformation. This is not healing. This is the age of authenticity, and the healing garden is on the front lines of it. The entire university is built around reviving the authentic self through remembering and understanding and breaking down and shedding what no longer serves you to get to who you really are, and then living a life of authenticity. This is transformation. It is not healing. So that's the first thing. A lot of people, when they finally get to that point where they say, I need help, I need therapy, that's the change. Now, the ultimate mindset change that happens in these people is you basically go from, and this is going to sound weird, but you go from comfort, what's familiar, to growth. And every person has to make this choice. The first 4 stages of our life, the first 4 stages of growth in our life, stages 1 through 4, are always comfort-based. It's always about what's familiar. It's not until you get to the end of the 4th perspective, the end of the 4th stage, that you finally say, I'm ready to grow now. It's always the same spot right there. You get to the end of that 4th and you finally say, I want to grow. I want to be something better. And you decide to abandon comfort, to push yourself to the limits, to get into that next stage. This always happens at stage 5. It is the transition stage. Everybody who gets to stage 5, stage 4-5, stage 5-5 says the same thing. It's time for me to grow and heal. That is the difference. Sometimes people just want to start a business. They'll get to stage 5, but they don't want to do any growth. Those are what I refer to as 5-4s. They're trying to do the entrepreneur thing, but they're so closely embedded with that 4th perspective mindset that they refuse growth because they still value familiarity, even though they want to have their own business. So that group of people I refer to as foundationals. They are fantastic for literally laying the foundation of any society. They are the children of the world. They are the ones who literally have the future before them, and their growth determines what is in store for our future. So those are your first four perspectives. It's the fifth perspective where you start to value growth over what's familiar. So the mindset of healing is that stage when you finally get to that point and you say, I now value more growth than I value comfort or value familiarity. And that's the tipping point. That is the tipping point with everybody who reaches stage 5. A person who struggles with addiction could be struggling with addiction for stages 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's not until they get to stage 5 that they finally say, I need help. That is exactly the difference. It's when they finally decide to value growth more than the pursuit of comfort. The problem is, in that case, is they never learned how to self-comfort, and as a result, they use addictions in an attempt to soothe themselves because they don't know how to self-comfort. It's the very first lesson of triadic healing is learning how to self-comfort. That's the very first thing we teach at triadic healing, because we go right back to the beginning and we teach you self-comfort, we teach you resourcefulness, we teach you how to ask for help, and understanding the difference between humility and shame. A lot of people don't know the difference between the two of those emotions. So we go through all of that because we basically give you the setting you need so that you evolve and you grow from the first perspective all the way up to the fifth perspective. And then that is that point where you basically are given the choice to, do you want to continue and grow further, or do you want to just stay where you are and go do your own business? And that's perfectly fine. There is no right or wrong answer. As you will learn at the Healing Garden, there is the right way, the wrong way, and your way. And the right way really is always your way. So when you are ready to adopt healing, when you are ready to finally take on that task, it's really the question you need to ask is, which do I value more? Do I value comfort and familiarity, or do I value growth? Now, let's talk about comfort and familiarity because there's a lot of confusion there. Again, a lot of people have been using the wrong words for a very long time, which is why everyone is misunderstanding everybody, is because we're using the wrong language. So that's going to be a huge part of triadic healing, is giving you the right language to use, the correct language. That way your ability to communicate is much, much easier. So we're going to change your communication game. I love that part. It's one of my favorite things with triadic healing. So when we look at the concept of comfort and we look at the concept of familiar, they are two completely different things, but they are interchangeable in our society. Throw that out. The first thing we're going to do is say, stop using the word comfort for familiar. It's not the same thing. Comfort is grounding yourself, recharging yourself, celebrating yourself, acknowledging who you are and celebrating that person. That's comfort. It's doing what you love in celebration of you. That is comfort. Familiar is all the abuse that you probably were subjected to for a prolonged period of time until you're used to it. That's familiar. That's what familiar is. While over here, you've got comfort. Do not confuse the two. When you have a proper comfort area, when you have proper comfort, what you actually have is a very healthy, nurturing environment so that you can recharge in a few hours or a day, jump back up and get back in the game. That's comfort. Familiar is whatever abusive situation you've been in most of your life, and you stay there because it's known to you. And that's where a lot of people misuse the words. So there's what is known, and what you're really doing is avoiding the unknown because it's dangerous and scary and afraid to not know what you're dealing with. So you stay with what you know, what's familiar, versus having a very comfortable, nurturing place for self-comfort. Completely different things. So stop using the word familiar for comfort. If you value comfort more than growth, really step back. What you're actually doing is valuing familiar and what is known to you more than growth. You are prioritizing an unhealthy, abusive situation for its familiarity rather than growing, because the growth is the unknown. And this conflict that every person has to overcome is facing a fear of the unknown. That's all this is. So, one of the first things I do with triadic healing, which is not done in traditional therapy, is I sit down and discuss with you what is on the other side of healing, what you are walking into. I take away as much as I can about the unknown element. That way, you go into healing with an open mind, feeling much more safer, feeling like there's less unknowns, because you are going to have to get to a point in your growth if you wish to pursue with growth where you do develop a tolerance for the unknown. But doing it at stage one is not the place to learn that lesson. So, to help you get into healing, we're going to start by addressing your fear of the unknown and then presenting you with a much more smooth process to choose between what is known to you and what is your growth. So that's the first thing we're going to be covering, and that's going to be literally handled this week when we do our onboarding, just getting you into the right mindset. That way we can start easing you into the actual triadic healing. So the first week or two is just preparing you, onboarding you, getting you ready into the classes, getting you into the right mindset. That way when we sit down and we start going through triadic healing, you're already there. Now, right off, we're going to start off with meditation in a couple hours. Actually, yeah, at 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, I usually do my meditation class. And I'm sorry, I usually do that at, interesting, I got to think about this because I used to do it at 8 a.m. and I might go back to doing it at 8 a.m. But I always do a class at 8 a.m. and I do a class at 11 a.m. And my meditation class is usually done at 8, and then my actual class is done at 11. So I might stick to that. But today, what I'm going to do is at 11 o'clock, I am going to do my meditation. And it's not just meditation, it's philosophy, it's meditation, it's triadic healing. It's teaching you about your cocoon and your comfort zone. I've already covered this in my meditation for beginners, but we're going to redo it again here for this particular course. It's going to be it's going to show up in this area here in this playlist, and it's going to be posted over at Meditation for Beginners. That way you can follow along, and of course you can always go back on any of my material with Meditation for Beginners and do this as you need. But I'm also going to be doing journaling with you. So when I do my meditations, it's very important you bring pen and paper with you. Pen and paper. No computers, no tech, pen and paper, because we're going to be journaling. The journaling exercises I give you, I'm going to be doing them with you, and they are absolutely strategic and designed to help you remember who you are. And that's going to take about 40 days of consistency where that's all we do. So it can take anywhere from an hour. It might go into 2 hours. I'm not quite sure yet. I don't know how long it takes. I just do whatever feels right. So I'm going to walk you through today my meditation for beginners, my full self-care regimen, self-care course. And I do that with everybody. It's what I do every morning myself. I do it before bed. I do it before I do it before bed. I do it in the morning first thing. So I'm going to show you today what it looks like. And then tomorrow at 8 a.m., I'm going to jump on and we're just going to do it. Okay. So please join me for that. It's really, really thorough. Make sure you bring your pen and paper because we're going to be journaling with the meditation, manifestation, all of it. So thank you so much. And if you love this video, like, comment below, follow, subscribe, and grab that notifications bell and comment below. Tell me what part of this video resonated with you. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.